Okay, so just organize my slides here. So hello to everyone, and I haven't yet introduced myself, so let me do that. So my name is Dr. Danielle Kennan, and I'm the Programme Director of this MA in Child, Youth and Community. Just to be very clear from the start, we're obviously this MA is within the University of Galway. We're here on the west coast of Ireland on a very cold evening tonight. We are based within the School of Political Science and Sociology within the university, and then within that school we're housed within the UNESCO Child and Family Research Centre. And now I'll come back to mention that centre later, but if in case I don't say it at the time, there's an excellent video about the work of the centre and the research work that we do here on the web page for this programme, so that might be of interest to you if you haven't already seen it. Okay, so this programme, it's obviously Child, Youth and Community, but we often use the tagline with the programme on programme planning and evaluation. Because obviously it's a programme that's preparing you in general to work within the child, youth and community sector, but we have the particular focus on students developing a skill set around programme planning and evaluation. And why, what's the rationale for that focus? Well, certainly in Ireland, but also internationally, within the past 10 to 15 years, professionals have been involved in the involved in the delivery of services to children, young people and communities are really increasingly being required to provide scientific and robust evidence measuring the social impact of their interventions. So they're being called upon to be accountable for the social impact of those programs that they're delivering, that they're achieving the outcomes that they were set up and funded to achieve as such. And this is very interlinked with funding, and obviously it's very important within a funding dependent sector also. So professionals are required to demonstrate evidence of impact in order to secure and to continue to renew their funding. So just to be very clear in terms of what we mean by programme planning and evaluation for a moment. So first, looking to programme evaluation, just drawing on Everett's and Hardicker's definition here. It's going back a bit, but it's still, how we define evaluation today. It involves generating evidence about activities, policies, programs, projects, and the processes involved, and then making judgments based on the evidence the research evidence that we generate about their value. In terms of programme planning, if you look to the UNDP and how they define it, it's the process of setting goals, developing strategies, outlining the implementation of arrangements and the allocation of resources to achieve those goals that are set, or to achieve those outcomes that are set from the outset. So in terms of this graphic here, it's just to remind us, we can be so busy, and that if we don't step back, stop and really engage in rigorous and well-informed planning, then as professionals, we very much run the risk of going nowhere, or again, of not achieving those outcomes that we intend to achieve. So that's very briefly why that focus on programme planning and evaluation. But as a programme, it has some very unique objectives to it, our core focuses. So the first one there, obviously, I've just made clear to you that this is a core emphasis of the programme, equipping with that skill set around theoretical knowledge and practical skills in programme planning, monitoring and evaluation, and hopefully that's clear to you now why we have a focus on that. The second one there around supporting students to explore new lines of research and to use research evidence in practice. We recognize the importance of the sector and the move within the sector for evidence-based practice and evidence-based policy making. So we really in this programme seek to support students to develop their research skills or further hone their research skills so that they're prepared for that. Given as well, the importance of having a knowledge and understanding around human rights principles, also having cultural competencies when working the sector. We also support students to develop their capacity to design and deliver human rights-based approaches and culturally sensitive programs and services. Okay, so there's a couple of other objectives here as well. These are more your transversal skills, so skills around, you know, through the program we also seek to support you to develop the capacity to be leaders within the field, to develop your communication skills, innovative thinking, and we also provide the opportunity for professional experience through our placement module, and also many opportunities for networking, both obviously among the student group, but also within the seminars and events that we host within our centre. But if you look to the right there, you'll see an image from the student cohort last year who went with some of the other MA programs within our school on a field trip to Brussels. And that, so not only did they have networking opportunities within Ireland here in terms of people within the sector, but also that field trip to Brussels introduced them to many people working within the sector at a European level. Okay, so they're the set of objectives as such that we try to achieve with the program, and we achieve these through the modules that we deliver. And just to note, maybe you want to turn off all microphones. Okay, the core modules are, so obviously there's a core module around program planning and evaluation and human rights and social justice, as we've just talked about. Another kind of introductory module then to child, youth and family. And again, remembering that we're based within the School of Political Science and Sociology, that's coming at it from a sociological lens, community development, and then, as I said, some core modules, again, in terms of helping you to hone your research skills. And then there's a range of option modules. You can see the first one there being the placement module, and the second one being the field trip module, and then other options that would be of interest to anyone that's interested in working within this sector. So in total, students take, again, within Europe, we use the ECT credit system. So in total, students will take 90 credits worth of modules. So that's 55 ECTs of thought core modules, and those modules we looked at on the previous slide, and then 15 ECTs will be optional modules. So again, you'll have seen from the previous slide, some of those option modules are 5 ECTs, some are 10. So you need to choose 2 that will accumulate to 15 ECTs. So then a further 20 ECTs are awarded for the successful completion of independent research that accumulates in the submission of a final research paper, which is equivalent of your dissertation. And just to note that all assessment is by means of continuous assessment. There are no exams within this MA. Okay, so I also want to highlight for you our flexible approach to learning. It's a 1-year full-time MA, or you do have the choice of a 2-year part-time MA. Or you can do a 1-year full-time postgraduate diploma, which is obviously less credits. You don't do that final research paper and the independent research at the end. Also to note, it's a blended learning program. Now, obviously, different there can be different interpretations of what blended learning is. So just to explain, for this program, we deliver the teaching both in classes on campus as well as online. And so how it's worked is that in semester 1 before Christmas and semester 2 after Christmas, they're both 12-week semesters. And for 4 of those weeks, you will be in on campus for classes for those weeks. Classes are usually delivered across 2 days, Tuesday and a Wednesday, or Wednesday and Thursday. And so you'll be in class for campus across 4 weeks of the semester, and the remaining classes then are delivered online. Okay, so just 2 final slides to go through, just to reiterate, who this program is designed for. So it's very much designed for professionals already working within the community, voluntary, or the public sector, for example. And it's really designed to add value to your existing qualifications, to support you to progress onto leadership roles given the new skill set that you will have on completing this MA. It's also designed for people who don't necessarily currently work within the sector, but they do have a specific expertise or interest in the sector and want to use this MA as a bridging kind of stone to begin to work within the sector. If you look at some job advertisements here, jobs within Ireland, these are examples of, but it would be the same in an international context as well. More and more organisations working with children and youth and within the community have research units, again, going back to the recognition of the importance of evidence-informed practice. So there's many organisations now have research units, and evaluation managers or units, as you can see here from Bernardo's, our childhood organisation in Ireland. But even just at a practice, if you're going to be on the frontline practice level, like project workers in the two organisations mentioned here, again, increasingly we're seeing that applicants have a strong background in research, have evaluation, programme planning skills. And that goes back to why we have the focus on that within the programme. Okay, and lastly, just to give you a couple of final reasons as to why study with us, why do this programme. So it is based within a flagship research institute within the research centre, the UNESCO Child and Family Research Centre. We do, as a centre, have an international reputation. I mean, obviously that's evident through our endorsement from UNESCO. We're not part of UNESCO, but we are very strongly affiliated with UNESCO, and we, a long-standing reputation in terms of policy and practice research in the area of child, youth and community. Again, a particular expertise around programme planning and evaluation, and also family support. And we have another MA in family support too. Again, going back to why I study this with us, it's again, we take that flexible approach to learning. We take that blended approach, which can suit many students. You're also part of a thriving postgraduate community. So there's a number of MA programs that we offer within the School of Political Science and Sociology. Some of the modules you will take will be shared with those other MA programs, particularly the ones that are also within the discipline of applied social science. So you're part of that community, which students really like. And then finally, just to reiterate, and as I hope I've got across to you this evening, the programme is very much aligned and responsive to the needs within the sector. Okay, so I'll just pause for a moment. I'll just let you, to conclude, just let you read two testimonies from one from our current MA student, one from a graduate of the programme, and let them tell you in their words how they found the programme. So Jade is a current student. She came to us with a degree in social care and was looking to progress onto an MA. And Anne-Marie then, a former student, again worked in frontline practice for years within the homeless sector, but decided to come back and do an MA at a later stage then in her career. Okay, so finally, just to say, well, thanks for listening, and there's my email address if you prefer to follow up with any questions. I mean, we'll have time now for discussion, but if anyone that's listening to this online afterwards, if you have any questions, you can email me at this address. Okay, so thanks very much. Now I'll pause the recording. I'm going to stop sharing.